Did you get your Hogwarts letter yet?
Let's unpack the magic.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, hello, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of Team Unicorn Podcast.
I am Tyler.
And I'm Sammy.
And today we are flipping the script of the usual Disney-centric type of podcasts and putting a little twist on it and heading into the wizarding worlds.
Yes, we are diving into Harry Potter today with some Back to Hogwarts classes.
Yes, this episode kind of ties in pretty closely to the Back to Hogwarts. September 1st will be the official Back to Hogwarts day for students.
Yes, catching the train at platform 9 3/4, heading back to school.
And I'll probably be the wizard that's probably just running into walls because I'm at like platform like 9 1/2 or 9 and like 7/8. I'm definitely not at the right area, and I'm just like running into walls with my owl. So I mean, you've heard me say it in past episodes. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm definitely not as big of a Harry Potter fan as you. I have enjoyed most of the books. I've not read them all. Do not feel ashamed about that.
That's okay.
But I have seen the movies multiple times. So I think I have a somewhat gist of what's going on.
Yeah, I think you'll get it. Yeah, I've read the books several times now. It wasn't something that I really grew up. Like, I didn't really get into the books until like high school. Is when I really started getting into like reading them. And yeah, I really enjoy the books. I think they're great. I really like listening to them on audio. I do that quite a bit. I've gone through them several times now, and I'm actually listening to them again. Right now, it's just nice to have on when I'm working. So,
yeah. And I remember like growing up, it wasn't something like, I remember like when it first came out, I think it was like I was around 6th grade. So like I remember getting the Sorcerer's Stone book in the 6th grade because I remember reading it in homeroom, and the first couple of books kind of really caught my attention, and then I guess later on, like I don't think I necessarily like fell out of attention or out of love with it. It's just I just didn't read as much then at that point anymore, so
yeah.
I just never really kept up with it. And then obviously once we started dating and we were watching the movies more.
Yeah, I remember going to the midnight premieres when they still did midnight showings.
Yep, I remember sitting out in the back of the movie theater at like 11:30, and there was randos with pizza boxes from Little Caesars just giving you pizza and breadsticks left and right, and you're like, I don't know what they're lacing this pizza with, but I'm definitely gonna eat it because I need my energy for the next 3 hours for this movie.
Oh, those are some really fun times. I don't know if I could do midnight showings anymore, to be honest.
I am so glad they moved away from midnight showings, and it's the day before now, and like I can go on the weekends and matinees. Like I'm a-okay with that. I don't think I'm equipped to do a midnight showing anymore.
Yeah, once you turn 30, it's all downhill.
Yeah.
But no, I think there's something magical about going to the midnight showings, especially with the later movies with Harry Potter. Like there's just so much like building up to them, and yeah, I don't know, I thought it was really fun going to those and have some good memories there. So
yeah. So we are gonna kind of, like I said at the beginning here, we're gonna stick with what we know, which is Disney and Marvel and some a little bit of Star Wars maybe, but we're definitely going to put a Harry Potter twist on what we're going to be talking about today. Again, with it being Back to Hogwarts, all the students, including us, are going to be focusing on classwork.
Yes.
And so we've compiled a list of some of the basic or kind of fundamental classes that a student would take at Hogwarts. And we're going to go through and we're going to try to figure out what characters from our different fandoms would either excel or in some cases not excel in those classes.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so this was something that we've kind of talked about or tried to come up with some sort of iteration of a Harry Potter episode for a while.
Right. Yeah, because like you said, like Harry Potter's not like your strong suit, and as much as I love the books and everything, like I mean, I guess like I maybe know a little bit more, but I wouldn't say like I'm like the strongest.
Right.
Like I don't know.
You have
Like
a friend, or we have a friend, Katrina, who she would be the person
yes.
to ask about any like Harry Potter lore type of question.
Yes. She's definitely a big Potterhead and way more so than me. So but anyways, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. Yes, we have a few different classes and we're gonna go through and reveal which characters we thought they would do really well and maybe in some cases not do so well. So we don't know what each other have picked.
Yes.
It's a secret.
And this is really fun because a lot of these questions, or a lot of these classes, it was really hard to like, some of them were really hard to figure out like who would, fit that category. And there was some like, there was just a plethora of answers. Like I had tons of answers for.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see what we came up with and see what we see the discussion that comes up about all
Yeah,
that.
I think this is going to be a good one. So
you want to just jump right on in?
yeah, so we have our first class charms, and I don't want any like, Harry Potter fans to come at us, but we are doing the Patronus Charm, which I know it's not really taught like in the regular classes because Harry teaches like his classmates in Dumbledore's army, which is something that they do like outside of their classes. And I know Professor Lupin initially teaches Harry and he's a defense against the dark arts teacher. So I wasn't sure exactly like if it should have been in like defense against the dark arts, but it is the Patronus Charm.
I guess if anyone wants to get mad, they can come at me because I was the one that came up with the classes and the prompts, and I just know Patronus Charm. It's a charm. There's a charms class. Sue me.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing for the charms class. So we have to name 2 characters that would be good at producing the Patronus Charm, and what is their Patronus?
Yeah. I'm gonna get my notes out here.
Yeah, I have some notes written down too.
And again, we haven't talked with one another about this. Like we kind of had like a little bit of like an innuendo type of conversation last night before we recorded this. I'm just like, because some of these again were really hard, but like this one I thought was pretty easy for me. And I'm very excited to see how this all turns out because I tried really hard to like be very like very close to what the Patronus Charm is, and I tried to like come up with really good answers, but I'm just kind of like, I don't know if this works or not. I'm not that big of a fan. I probably should have referenced Katrina. I should have like messaged her and be like, hey, does this make sense? So do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay.
Do you want to name both your characters first?
Let's go back and forth.
Okay.
So the first one I picked was Moana.
Okay.
And her Patronus would be the turtle.
Oh, okay.
I think that I just think that makes sense. I don't have any like sort of like background or explanation for it. Like I just think like Moana would probably be a very strong character that could level up that type of emotion to produce.
Yeah,
that
no, I agree because I
also picked Moana.
I also had Moana. Although I did not pick a turtle. I almost picked the stingray for her.
I almost did too.
But I'm like, no, that's a little too obvious. I think her Patronus could be a honey badger. Like she's so fearless.
Okay.
And she doesn't take any crap. And that's exactly what a honey badger is. Like I feel like that would work.
That would work. That makes so much more sense than a turtle. I just remember like there's so much significance to that turtle in the beginning of the scene that would make sense that it stuck with her. But yeah, a honey badger.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So then my second character.
Okay.
And this comes with a caveat: Loki.
Okay.
But he wouldn't be able to produce it until after the events of Ragnarok. He had to have his redemption arc. He had to understand his place in the grand scheme of things, and he had to come to terms with everything that's happened with Odin, Frigga, and Thor up to that point. So like 2012 Loki, at the Battle of New York, he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But after like he finally came to terms with who he was and kind of became like he understood that he needed to become a hero at that point. It's at that point Loki would have been able to produce the Patronus Charm.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, good.
I like, yeah.
And my note said that it would be after he dies for the billionth time. So, and just for jokes, I think that he'd be an alligator because we've already seen the variant alligator Loki.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. I can see that. Yeah. I think that's
Oh, good.
That's good. Okay, so
I'm doing good. I got two that make sense right away off a franchise that I'm not really good with. So yeah, I feel confident here.
Okay. So I picked Wanda as my next one. I think especially after like WandaVision, I just feel like she could nail it. Like yeah, like no, I don't think she'd have a problem. And I think her Patronus would be like a fox, like a red fox or something. Like I think she's very like especially getting into Multiverse of Madness, like I feel like she's kind of
foxy.
Yeah, like sly and sneaky, but then I think like
I was thinking something else, but that's okay.
But then like she's also like so like protective, like, you know, of like her family and stuff, and I feel like I feel like a fox would
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like so that's what I went with.
Nice.
And I thought that so that's what I thought for that one.
Nice. Well, I'm glad we had the same Disney character, but then we kind of extrapolated still have a Marvel character.
Yeah.
So that worked out really nice.
Yes. I do have an honorable mention for this one.
Oh yes, please indulge.
Okay. So my other one, it's not so much that he could, I don't know, I think he probably could. But I had Olaf. I was like, Olaf could try to do it. Like I think he could really try.
I feel like he would just have to like with his one arm take his other arm to make the wand.
I was thinking that too because he could just use like his arm. But I have a really good Patronus for him, and I think it fits really well.
Okay.
And that's the main reason why I had him as my honorable mention. I think it would be a capybara for his Patronus. Like he's the most like friendly snowman, and that's just what a capybara is. Like it's just like this cute, friendly little like guinea pig type rodent, and I think that embodies Olaf very well. So
oh my goodness, that's the best. That's really good. I will say that this isn't the last time we're going to bring up Olaf in this conversation. I do have him somewhere else in a different class, but that works really well.
Are you going to be okay?
Oh my god, that is a capybara.
A capybara, yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that one. Okay. Regroup. All right, let's head to our next class, which is Defense Against the Dark Arts.
Okay.
The prompt for this one is that we need to name 2 characters that would be good, you know, that would exceed well in the class.
Mm-hmm.
And what were those characters? Bogarts. Is it Bogarts? Bogarts. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Nah, come for me in the comments. So I guess we'll have you go first with the first one.
Okay, yeah. So my first one for Defense Against the Dark Arts, I have Raya.
Okay.
I think she would do so well in this. Like I don't know, she just has like, well, I mean, she has her sword and like she's defending off like the Droon and all of that. It was a little hard to come up with like a Bogart. But I think it would just be like stone. I think that's what she, you know, like she's kind of afraid of. So that's kind of what I went with, but I think she would excel really well in that class.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I went with to start off with, and now reading my notes, I'm super awesome. I only came up with 1 character when the prompt said 2, so.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
But I have a good one. Tony Stark.
Okay.
He is smart, bold, charismatic. He wouldn't baby the students if he ever became the teacher. Like he doesn't like baby or kind of like try to like pamper anybody else, like other than himself.
I was just gonna say like himself.
But he would like kind of how he treats Peter. Like he pushes them to do better. Like he doesn't want them to just like rest on their morals.
Okay. Not that I want to get into like a completely like separate argument. But I am not the biggest Tony Stark fan.
Which we've established.
Yeah, and I think especially like the events in Homecoming, like Tony did that a lot to him, like himself. Like there was no like communication with Peter, so like how would Peter know that like some of this stuff was going on? But
no, and I get it. So like I guess I would like my main thing was I would try to figure out like kind of comparing, you know, characters to maybe someone like Snape. Like in that terms of like their grand scheme or like, you know, what they are kind of like for or against, but just how they act and how they come off. And I guess that's kind of where I went with.
Oh, okay. So you're teaching like more from like a teacher standpoint.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
And I think his boggart, which you've already seen, would be his daughter Morgan, because he wanted so bad in Endgame or Infinity War and Endgame to like, well, Infinity War to like. He was okay not doing or Endgame not being a superhero anymore. He wanted to hang up everything and he just wanted to live out his life and be with his family. And I think knowing that it would be his grown-up daughter, he understands that he would never get to see that. So his fear would be that he never gets to see his daughter growing up. So it'd be his grown-up daughter.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
Because they're not, because bogarts aren't necessarily scary like a demon.
No,
they're just
they're
the person's worst fear. Right. So that's why I thought like if he saw Morgan like he did in the soul realm.
Yeah, the soul realm.
In the soul realm, he understands at that point he's dead. He's not coming back, and that's why he saw them there.
Yeah.
So I think that would be who his boggart would be.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that makes sense.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's your second character?
Okay, my second character is Peggy Carter.
Okay.
I think she would just kick butt in this class. I don't know. I think she would just be amazing. Just because she doesn't like, I don't know. She like, I mean, obviously, like she's a woman. Like, you know, when Shield's being founded, and like, you know, I feel like a lot of people like look down on her because of that. But I think she just tries to like, you know, make that like her strength. Like, you know, she doesn't let it like get her down, and you know, so I think she would do really well in this class. And then I think her boggart would be I don't know how it would like come about, but like being underestimated. Like I think she doesn't like that. Like she wants to like always like prove herself, you know, and like that, you know, she can be just as good. So I don't think she likes it when people like underestimate her.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
So
but yeah, I don't know how that would
I don't know how that would come about in a boggart. So I don't know, but that's what I came up with.
Maybe it would just be like a version of herself where she's just like very much like has like a lot of anxiety or very doubtful about herself, and like she does like it's a version of herself who isn't that strong character, who doesn't feel confident and determined.
Yeah, that or like her other colleagues maybe like, you know, talking down to her, or like, you know, they just don't like believe in her, or you know, like she doesn't really fit in or have a place in Shield or anything like that. So
and now that we're kind of talking about it, like obviously I don't have a second character, but I'm gonna just throw one out here. Do you think Mulan would be good at it?
Yeah, I think so too.
Because like when you brought up Raya and then with Peggy, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, that makes sense that like maybe like Mulan would probably be a good fit for this one too.
Yeah, she probably would. I think so. So moving on to our next one, our next class is potions.
I'm very excited for this one.
So this one we said to name two characters that would be a great teacher. So Snape is getting out of there, and we have a new potions master. Who's your first teacher?
I think we're gonna do like a tag team duo.
Okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, that would be so
I mean,
fun.
they're dealing with pin particles all the time. Like they're constantly around. They're constantly in the lab. It makes
Yep.
total sense that
Yep.
they would be fine with that. So, yeah, Hank and or not Hank, Ant-Man and the Wasp would be perfect for that.
Oh yeah, that would be really fun.
And that was like my serious one. I have like a funnier answer for my second one.
Okay. Let's see. I need to look at my notes. Let's see. Okay, so my first one is Bruce Banner.
Yeah, makes total sense.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
I thought like, he's a sciencey guy. Like I think he would be a great potions teacher.
And I think like just a lot of characters in the Marvel universe in general just lends to be probably a good fit for this.
Probably.
But
yeah.
those three make total sense. And my second teacher, Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove.
Oh gosh.
And it's because Yzma has all the potions. And I'm like, well, at first I thought Yzma because she had all the potions.
Yeah.
But she's really rude. She's very strict and she wouldn't be a good teacher. I would hate her as a teacher. But then I'd like her to be like, have to like leave the class and then Kronk has to come in and substitute. And he'd be like, oh yeah, the potions for the classroom with the potions. Yes. So I think it would be hilarious for Kronk to be a potions master.
Yeah, that would be a trip. I think we need to see this happen.
We do. Yes, 100%.
That would be amazing.
Like, because he wouldn't know what any of the labels are.
No, he wouldn't.
Because he doesn't know what the labels are. Like they're peeling, they're peeling off, or they're like rolled down or whatever. So it would just be like, yes, this one seems like this would work. And I'm just like, oh, that's not right.
Wrong potion.
Wrong potion, Kronk. All right, what was your second?
All right, well, following that up, my second one, I don't know if mine's
Do you need a minute?
I don't know if mine's much better. It's probably on the same level. I said Mama Odie.
Oh yeah, duh, totally.
Yeah.
But like you wouldn't know what you're making in that potion
No,
class.
I think that would just be probably a little chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
But also I think a really fun time. Especially if she's gonna sing too. Like
I do kind of along that same line. I have one honorable mention.
Okay.
Winnie Sanderson.
Oh, I thought about them.
Like I didn't know if that would be like too obvious because like they're witches or whatever. And that's like that was the hardest thing about doing some of these because I'm just like there are like wizard and witch equivalent characters in some of our fandoms.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I mean, that makes total sense.
Yeah, that would be fun too to have them as a teacher. Yeah.
But yeah, like our Mama Odie and Winnie are like in the same room.
They like Winnie would get so annoyed.
Oh, 100%.
Like, Mama Odie would just be like doing her thing.
She'd probably try to put Mama Odie in the potion, in the cauldron.
Probably. Oh my gosh. But any of those sound way better than Snape.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right.
Well, let's head on over to the next classroom, which would be it's outside. It's Herbology.
Yes.
So this is the one we kind of took a little bit of a twist on it, where instead of who we thought would would excel in this class and who would have the green thumbs per se, we are picking two characters that we think would be especially bad in this class.
Yes.
Or have the brown thumbs.
The brown thumb.
This one for sure was the hardest one for me to come up with.
Oh, this one I have a really good one for.
And I'll let you go first because I don't want to like I like we were thinking about it last night. We were talking about before we were recording, and it just dawned on me, and I was like, "Duh, this is like the most obvious answer." Didn't even think about it. But like, I don't want to take it away if it's your answer, so I want you to go first.
Oh, I was gonna save it for my second one.
Okay, you go.
Okay,
you can still save it for your second one.
Okay, so my first one, I said Stitch would be really bad at this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he would have a clue what he's doing. He would just.
There's just too much chaos.
Yeah.
It's just too much of like unfettered chaos.
Yeah, and like he wouldn't know like probably some of the plants that you shouldn't be like touching, or like I don't know, he would just like rip them up or something.
Probably just eat them.
Or eat them when you probably shouldn't. Yeah, so I think he would be really bad at that class.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a horrible student.
100%. He'd be a horrible student at pretty much any
pretty much any of these, but yeah.
I mean, he'd be fun to hang out with, but I mean, not in the class or whatever.
Yeah, no, I don't really like Stitch. So
what if he played God, I feel really bad for anyone that's gonna come for me at this. The game that they play with the golden snitch. Quidditch. God, I couldn't think of that. Like, he would be a menace.
Oh my god.
Playing Quidditch.
Could you imagine? Like
that would just be absolute chaos.
Like, I don't even know if he would know how to ride a broom.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure he would. I'm sure he could figure it out.
I guess, maybe.
Like, he probably like just eat like the balls. Like
oh my gosh.
All right, so I have my game. I obviously came up with 2.
Okay.
I'll save my like what I thought was the obvious one for the second one. The Beast.
Oh.
From Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Because if it weren't for Belle, that flower gonna die. I mean, he had one job. It was to keep a rose alive.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, he did have a task associated with,
Yeah, but it was one task.
That's true.
Like, he didn't even have to mend or care for the rose. It was just he had to do this other task, and like it kind of just went hand in hand.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for Belle,
that's true.
That rose would have died.
It would have died.
So yeah, that's my first answer.
Okay.
What's your answer?
Okay, I'm very excited for this. So my second character that I think would be really bad at herbology is Drax.
That's not who I have. That's a good one.
I think he would just be so, like, I don't know, flabbergasted by like the plants. I don't know, just pulling out. I just picture him like pulling out a mandrake and it's screaming at him.
Yeah, no,
like, what is this foul creature? I don't know. Like, I just think he would be really bad. Or like he just wouldn't like really understand like I don't know, like how to do it or something. I'm not sure.
That's the weird thing, because like I don't think he necessarily understands like the concept of Groot, but like it'd be like the mandrakes all over again. He would just be like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I was pretty proud that I came up with that.
That's a really good one.
I like that.
My obvious answer to me, that Scar. He let the entire Pride Lands go to waste.
Oh, yeah, he
did. He didn't care anything about the Pride Lands. Did. And that was my like duh moment. Like last night, I was like, that makes total sense.
Yeah, it does.
He let the entire Pride Lands go to waste and let all of the greenery die. There's no way that you put Scar in that herbology room that anything's gonna last.
Yeah, everything's gonna die. Oh, that's a really good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really good.
I mean, for coming up with answers, like less than 12 hours ago, like I feel pretty good about those.
Yeah,
two.
No, that's a really good answer.
Thank you. All right. So that's fun. Let's head over to Transfiguration.
Yeah.
Do you want to just kind of go over this one?
Yes. So Transfiguration, according to Professor McGonagall, Transfiguration is some of the most dangerous magic you will be taught at Hogwarts. So we have 3 spells, and we have to name a character that would be good at each of these spells. So we have the switching spell, altering only a part of some object,
or just altering an object essentially.
Vanishing spell, causing an object to completely disappear, and the conjuring spell, creating objects out of thin air. So we have to name a character for each of those that would do really well at producing that spell.
Mm-hmm. And this is the one where I know we just said like one character for each. I had so many answers for these spells. Like I think between these 3, I need 3 characters, right?
Yeah.
I think I have like 10 different characters.
Oh,
in total.
That's interesting. So, I only picked one for each, so I'm excited to see what extra ones you have.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off with the switching spell.
Okay.
Again, altering a part of something. My main guess was Maui from Moana.
That's what I picked too.
And I figured, yeah,
I think that one. I guess that was probably one of the more obvious ones. But yeah,
it makes total sense.
Yeah, it does.
So my 2 like backup or honorable mentions, Olaf. Because he changes himself over and over when he is explaining the story of Frozen 1
Yeah.
and Frozen 2, plus the shorts.
Yep.
So he's, dressing up, or, he's making himself look like different characters.
Oh, I didn't even think of Olaf.
So
That's really good for that one.
I had Olaf, and then
And his capybara.
he is the capybara.
Patronus. Yep.
And Camilo Madrigal.
Oh, yep. I thought of him too, but I thought he was kind of obvious too.
Yep.
But he definitely makes sense. Like he would, well, he can do it. So
yeah, he's kind of along the same lines of Maui. Like Maui just needs the hook to do it.
Yeah.
Camilo can just do it.
Yeah.
So those were my honorable mentions, but I thought that Maui was probably the most obvious.
Yeah, I thought
obviously
he would be perfect.
The same thing too.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do the Vanishing Spell?
Sure. Okay, so for the Vanishing Spell, I had I have Nick Wilde for this one.
Oh, okay.
Just because he's I don't know, like, he's just a little shady in the beginning of the movie, so I feel like he could probably make some objects disappear. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's not saying he's a thief.
No.
No, by no means are we calling him a thief.
No.
It's just, if we needed someone to make something disappear,
I think he'd be a good guy
might
to
be
call.
doing it.
Yeah. So that's what I don't know. I thought he'd be good at that.
That's a good answer. All right, I have got 4 of them.
I'm excited. I wish I would have came up with more, but I didn't.
Okay, so the first one, Drax. He's mastered the art of standing so incredibly still. You can't even see him. You can't even see him. It makes perfect sense. He makes himself vanish all the time. He doesn't need an invisibility cloak. Nothing. He just stands so incredibly still that he makes himself disappear.
Well, he's doing so horrible at Herbology. I guess he can.
He needs to excel somewhere else.
At this vanishing spell.
All right, and some of my other options. The witch from Brave.
Oh, okay.
In the wood shop, she's constantly moving, and kind of disappearing, or she's not there behind the door or whatever. She's not in there, so I think that she would be a really good choice. And for any of you Pixar theory believers out there, I'm going to switch over to Monsters Inc. and Randall.
Oh, sure.
Because he's constantly disappearing.
Yep.
He can shapeshift and change, and so Randall is another one. And then my last one, which I thought was actually my first guess, but then I didn't want that because I thought that maybe you would have picked it. Pascal.
Oh,
from Tangled.
Think of Pascal. Oh, yeah.
He just blends right in and changes his colors. I mean. I know, like, the act of kind of shape-shifting or kind of blending in is a little bit different than the Vanishing Spell, but, like, essentially what they're doing is making themselves vanish.
Yeah, no, I see the connection. So
those were Randall and Pascal were, like, my first, like, kind of go-tos, and then I'm just like, well, once I thought of Drax, I'm like, it's Drax. It's 100% Drax.
I love that. Okay. All right. So, and then the Conjuring Spell, creating objects out of thin air.
Yes, I'm very excited for this one.
Do you have a couple for this one?
I've got 2 of them.
Okay, I just have my one.
Okay. I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna save my good one for the second one.
Okay.
My first one is Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan.
That's mine.
I see. We should have let you go first.
Oh, yeah, that's mine too.
So, what was your reasoning?
Well, I just think with her powers, like, I know she can make, like, the steps come out, and all of that. So I feel like, because of that, she literally creates that out of thin air. So I feel like she would do really well at, creating other objects come out of thin air. So
exactly what I thought too. Mm-hmm. So then I guess my number one answer, was Honey Lemon from Big Hero 6.
Oh.
She has the purse with the periodic table of elements, and she on the fly creates different chem balls or element balls.
Yep.
And that just, to me, like, she's conjuring up something on the fly. Like, she would be really good at that.
That's a really good connection.
Thank you.
Yeah, I almost had her for the Patronus Charm,
Oh,
being
okay.
able to produce that. I almost put her in that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I tried really hard to like really get some like deep hits on these, and I'm just like, I don't know if anyone's gonna remember Honey Lemon from Big Hero 6, but we sure do.
Oh, sure. Yes. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Thank you. So we've got 2 more classes left here.
Yep.
I think this one was pretty obvious for me. I don't know if it was for you, but Care of Magical Creatures. While you pull up your notes here,
Yep.
the task was to name 2 characters that would be good at taking care of creatures or animals. It doesn't necessarily have to be magical creatures, but that's what the class is called. So,
yes.
Would you like to go first?
Okay, yeah. So for my first one, I have Baymax.
Oh, okay.
Just because he's taking care of humans, I feel like, I mean, he would take care of animals, and you see him with the cat. So,
and like, I guess in terms of Baymax, like, since he's not a human, humans are, I guess, technically like magical creatures to a robot.
Oh yeah, I guess kind of.
So yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, so I thought he would be great.
That's a good segue.
Yeah.
From Big Hero 6.
Yeah,
that's awesome. All right. My first character was Aurora or Briar Rose.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
she would be so good.
She's always interacting around the animals, especially at the beginning part of the movie when she's kind of in Briar Rose form. She was one of the first ones I thought of right away, and I'm just like, she's got it. She's
for sure. She would be perfect. Okay. My second one is,
oh goodness,
I don't know, I think it's a really good one. I don't know. Korg. I think.
With Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder, those two, yeah.
And the way he takes care of Meek, at the end of Thor Ragnarok, like, you know, he's just kind of holding him and
Meek, you're alive.
Yeah.
That's such a good answer.
I thought he would be perfect for taking care of little creatures and animals. I could just see him. Oh yeah, that there little I don't know, like niffler. We're gonna go give him a little pat or something. I don't know.
Korg would be awesome.
I think that would be fun.
Oh well, my answer isn't as funny as that one is. I went with a pretty like just straight on what made most sense to me. I'm thinking of magical creatures. I'm thinking of mythical creatures.
Okay.
Hercules. He takes care of Pegasus all the time.
Oh, sure.
So like they're like best friends, hand in hand. So I think Hercules would be really, really good.
Yeah, I think so too. That would be fun.
Plus, if there's any like bad mythical creatures or bad, monsters or anything, Hercules just take care of them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, that's a good connection. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so we are down to our last class. And it's divination.
Yes, divination. So we have in here, so Doctor Strange predicted the one possible outcome in which the Avengers defeat Thanos. Name a non-Marvel character that could have also predicted that.
We're gonna end on a high note here. I think we both have a really good answer here.
I hope so. I don't know. I initially had one, and then I'm like, no, I think that sounds too, I don't know, weird. So then I came up with this other one, which I think fits, I don't know, pretty well.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with that one, and then I'll name my honorable mention.
Okay, so since you have got two, I'll let you go first then.
Okay, so I picked Mary Poppins.
Oh, I never even thought of her.
I think I know she can't really like see the future, but I feel like she has that intuition. She's also like magical in her own way. But I feel like she could have the power to make that prediction.
Yeah, given the circumstances, yeah, I feel like she definitely could.
I feel like she would be a good character.
That's a good answer. I never even thought about her.
Yeah.
You ready for mine?
I am ready for yours.
Kicking it old school with all you millennials. I'm gonna do Raven from That's So Raven. Isn't that the best answer of all time?
I never even thought about her.
She's the only one that'd be able to 100%. That makes total sense, right?
Yes.
As soon as I thought of this one, I'm just like, where I don't care what Sammy says. Like, this is the number one top answer.
Oh, okay. So
So I'm very excited to see what your other one was.
Okay, so I initially thought there was like a really obvious answer. I thought Bruno was way too obvious.
Yeah.
To pick as a character, so I didn't pick him. So my initial thought on this character,
you're gonna say something like that's really weird, like
it is. It's really
like
weird.
the Ongies from like Raya and the Last Dragon or something.
I believe his name is Yak, the Yaks from Zootopia.
Oh my god!
I don't know, the guy that's just sitting there meditating. I don't know. That's just what came into my mind when I'm just like, well, who's gonna make a prediction? I'm like, it needs to be somebody like sitting there, like, I don't know, doing that, and that's what he does. So that's what I initially had, but I'm like, that seems kind of silly.
That's super silly, but I do like that one. And I guess now thinking about it, like, I think C-3PO would probably be pretty good at it too.
Oh, he probably would,
because he's always constantly like trying to figure out like the odds of survival, and like he can speak so many different languages. Like he could probably see it kind of like not see out into the future, but he could probably like plan out to like what the best possible outcomes are, like Doctor Strange was.
Yeah, probably. I could foresee him doing that.
But I mean, I think that they all fail to compare to Raven.
Yeah, Raven. That's some old school Disney right there. Like I never even thought about that. That's so good.
I feel like my goal in this podcast is to try to bring up as many like early 2000s or 90s like millennial culture Disney original channel movies like references as I can.
Yeah, so, that's awesome.
Get ready. I'm probably going to bring up Cadet Kelly or even Stevens in another episode. But I mean, Raven, like, I as soon as I got that one, I'm like, I love that answer.
Perfect.
It's perfect. 100% perfect. But I do like your answer. I think Mary Poppins would be awesome at it as well.
Yeah, I don't know. After I was like, no, I don't want to do Yak because that just sounds kind of silly. I'm just like, but who else? Like, I kind of had a hard time coming up with somebody else, but then I thought of Mary Poppins, and I'm like, yeah, Mary Poppins, she can do it.
100%. Well, to wind down today's episode, I guess we went through a lot of characters. Oh, sorry, Baby Yoda. We went through a lot of characters that we thought would be like excel in like certain classes. Like, did you have like any that you think would just be like the best well-rounded type of witch or wizard?
I think
because to your point, I do think Mary Poppins would probably fit that bill.
Yeah, I think Mary Poppins could probably do pretty well overall. I think Moana would probably do pretty well overall.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's pretty well rounded.
I think a cheap answer would probably be Wanda.
I think
or Doctor Strange, like any of like the magic type of characters. That Marvel would have. Yeah,
I was gonna say Miss Marvel probably would.
So Grogu would be really good at like levitating things.
Oh, Grogu would, yeah.
So Grogu might just be like a good, well-rounded, especially like after like Luke teaches him the Force.
Yes, I was just gonna say, and he can do defense against the dark arts.
Mm-hmm. Dude, what would Grogu's Patronus be?
Ooh, what
is he scared of?
Well, that's a Bogart.
Oh yeah, sorry, no, that's right. So what? Yeah, what would
his Patronus could be?
Would it be the frog lady?
I don't know. I was thinking like if it was just like a macaron. That's all I have in my head right now is him just eating those blue. They look like macarons.
You know what? He like. I feel like he needs those cookies or whatever, and then like a cup of blue milk, and then you can just see like Grogu kind of just like walking down with both of them.
Oh my gosh.
Walking down the halls of Hogwarts to get to his next class, and he's just looking up like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah. I'm not sure like an actual animal for him.
Because I think in that case it'd have to be some sort of like Star Wars related animal, because that's all that Grogu would know at that point.
Yeah, I guess, but
let's leave it up to the listeners.
Yeah, what do you think Grogu's Patronus would be?
Oh, that is a good question to end this episode
like that.
So yeah, so let us know in the comments, or message us, DM us, whatever you want to do. I think we're gonna have to take some time to figure out what Grogu's Patronus is, because that's such a weird juxtaposition of a question to ask. We had so much fun on today's
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, thanks for coming back to Hogwarts with us.
Hopefully you guys all got your letters. If not,
there's always next year.
There's always next year. That or this was a major, salt in the wound episode for you to listen to.
I mean, I don't know. We've only been waiting on these letters since we turned 11, so I don't know how much longer we have to wait.
I mean, it's been 21 years. Let's just hang out or hope for something to come next year.
Yeah.
Well, for this episode of the Team Unicorn podcast, I'm Tyler.
I'm Sammy.
And it's been magical.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Team Unicorn podcast. You can find us on all major podcast platforms as well as YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, like, and review wherever you are listening, and follow us on Instagram to keep up with all things Team Unicorn. And remember, stay magical.